The hearing of the case stretched for nearly 7 hours, in which the legislators pleaded not guilty to the charges preferred against them. 6 members of parliament, namely Junet Mohammed, Timothy Bosire, Aisha Jumwa, Florence Mutua, Johnston Mudama, and Kimani Ngujiri, were charged with incitement to violence. Ngujiri is alleged to have uttered sentiments likely to cause loss of property and lives in Nakuru County. Chief Magistrate Daniel Ogembo, in allowing him bail, by virtue of being a first-time offender, but warned that his sentiments were detrimental to the peace of the nation. Ogembo, ruling in favor of Junet, Bosire, Jumwa, and Mutua, cited that the prosecution had failed to prove how the MPs would interfere with witnesses, adding that the period the prosecution required to complete investigations was over, and therefore it was not practical for the prosecution to argue they will interfere with investigations which are presumed to be completed. At the same time, the judge said the prosecution had failed to convince the court beyond reasonable doubt how they intended to cause unrest or harm a public officer. The 4 are accused of threatening to storm the office of the Inspector General if action was not taken against Moses Kuria and Ferdinand Waititu. The judge also took the prosecution to task over the delay in prosecuting the case against Senator Johnston Mudama, who was charged with the same offense in September last year. Ferdinand Waititu and Moses Kuria, who have been in the past charged with hate speech-related crimes, were also before the magistrate, where they pleaded not guilty to the charges of incitement to violence and disobedience to the law. The chief magistrate in his ruling said he chose not to take into account 2 similar cases in court against the duo in his decision to grant them bail. He was categorical that the offences facing them are serious, as they directly threaten to end the life of an individual as well as a community.
To use the pending and determined cases as a yardstick on their innocence or otherwise. So, whereas I reject the objection that the prosecution have raised, I reluctantly would give the 2 accused the benefit in view of the fact that their cases are still pending, and I would place them on bond.
Both the prosecution and the defense teams had earlier had a hard time defending their applications.
My Lord, inside and so it's logical and natural. They have a following. And that's why any prudent prosecutor does not prefer incitement charges.
You know, we have a negotiated bail and bond policy guidelines that was spearheaded by the judiciary, the Law Society of Kenya, and other stakeholders.
Kuria and Waititu will have to secure their freedom with a bond of 5 million shillings and surety of the same, or a cash bail of 2 million shillings each, while the other 5 will pay a cash bail of 300,000 shillings each, or a bond of 1 million shillings. Lilian Otieno for Scales of Justice.